Hey, what's up everyone? So I'm pretty excited because today I want to talk to you about a very cool technique to implement UI tests for your iOS app in a way that will be we could say very cheap and easy to implement. So first, let's begin by taking a look at the example app they have created for this video. So as you can see, it's going to be a very simple app. I have a single view in this app, so you can see it's a Swift UI app, and basically I have implemented a view that is kind of, we could say, the page of an article on a site like Amazon or another kind of e-commerce application. So you can see that it's a view that is simple but still quite complicated, meaning that there are several images, there is several kind of text with several kind of formatting, etc. And of course, when you work on that kind of app, you want to have a way to automatically test the UI of the app because, first, you don't want to ship a new version with a bug in the UI, and also because you don't want to have to, for every new release, manually test every screen by hand because, of course, if there are a lot of screens in your app, it's going to take a lot of time and it's just not manageable. So how can we implement UI test in iOS? Well, if you use Xcode, you know that by default in Xcode, there is actually, when you create a project, a testing target for a UI test that is created for you. So the test inside it looks like this. And basically what's happening here is that, we can test the app, but you see, we have to use this XCUI application. And basically, when we write a UI test using Xcode default tool, we have to use the accessibility layer to interact with the app. That's because the testing process cannot directly interact with the process that is running the app. So it's perfectly fine in the sense that, it lets us implement some interesting tests, but these tests, they come at a cost because we must write them using a specific syntax, and of course we must maintain them as the app evolves. And so today I want to show you that there is actually another approach to UI test, which is called snapshot-based testing. And what's really nice with this approach of a snapshot-based testing is that we're going to be able to write a UI test for a very, very cheap cost. So let me show you how it works. So as you can see in my Xcode, I have added a dependency using the Swift Package Manager. It's called snapshot testing and is a library that we're going to use in order to implement our test. So a quick word about this library. So it's made by the two guys who are creating the show Point Free. Maybe you've heard about it. If you want to learn more about this library or their show, I've put all the links in the description. So now let's see how we are going to write a test by using this library. So this time I'm going to move to my regular testing target. So it's not a UI test target, it's your regular test target that uses, XCTest. So I'm going to remove all of this boilerplate because we are not going to use it. And I'm going to create a function, to test my content view. And so I'm going to call it test content view. So first thing I want to do in this function, is to create an instance of the view that I want to test. So like this, I'm going to create an instance of my content view. Then I'm going to need a way to actually render my view on a screen. So for this, I'm going to create a UI hosting controller and I'm going to give my view as its root view. So of course, in order for this to work, I'm gonna have to import Swift UI in my test. And now it's time to actually start using my snapshot testing library. So I'm going to import the package as you can see, and then I'm going to actually, write the content of my UI test. And I think you're going to be very surprised by how short it's going to be. And that's it. As you can see, I have implemented my UI test. So the code is actually so short that it almost looks like magic. So let me explain to you, what is the idea behind this strategy of testing. What's going to happen with this code is that the first time I'm going to run this code, what will happen is that the view will be rendered, so inside the UI hosting controller, and then the method assert snapshot here is going to generate a screenshot of what the view looks like. And this screenshot, is going to be added inside the files of my testing target. So it's going to be basically a part of my test case. And then, so after this first execution, all of the other time where I will be running this test, what's going to happen is that the code is going to generate a screenshot for what the view currently looks like. And the function assert snapshot is going to compare this new screenshot with the one that was stored as a reference the first time. So basically, what the view looks like the first time is going to become my test case. And then all the following times, the current look of the view is going to be compared pixel by pixel with this reference screenshot. And what's really nice with this approach is that, as you can see, it's very cheap, but it's also very powerful because if there is, any kind of difference on the screen, even 1 pixel of a difference is going to be caught by the test. So now it's time to actually see how it works. So let me run the test for the first time. So as you can see, the first time the test is reporting as failing, but it makes sense because as I've told you, the first time there is no reference snapshot on the disk. And so as you can see, one was automatically created. So let's go take a look at it. So as you can see, I am now in the Finder. So this is, well, the directory where my app is stored. And if I open the directory, so that is about my testing target, you can see that there is a new folder called snapshots. And if I go inside of it, so you can see now there is the test app. And here we have the reference snapshot. And so I can open it like this. And well, as you can see, it's indeed a reference snapshot of what my screen looks like. And now what I did is that I have run my test a second time, and as you can see, my test is now passing, and it makes sense because, well, since I haven't changed anything, so the current look and feel of the view is indeed the same than the one that was recorded in the snapshot. So now that everything is in place, well, let's try to create a bug and let's see if our test is going to catch this bug. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to come back to my content view and I'm going to change the display right here. Basically, I'm going to remove the last star that is displayed. So that one right here. So I'm going to scroll to find where this is implemented. So it's implemented right here. And so I'm going to, well, basically just remove the code for this little view. And so as we can see in the preview, the image has indeed been deleted. So now let's go back to the test and let's run the test again and let's see, well, if the issue has been caught. So as you can see, the test is indeed now failing and it says, well, it has failed because the snapshot does not match the reference. So it's a good thing because it means that the test is indeed working as long as there is a difference between the current look and feel of the view and the reference one, well, the test is going to fail. Now, of course, well, this information doesn't help us a lot to find the bug if we don't know what the bug is. But don't worry, because the library is also coming with a very nice way to help us find what is the actual difference. And to use this feature, so we need to go in the report section of Xcode. So it's this icon right here. So then I'm going to click on my test and I'm going to take a look at the report for the execution of test content view. And so we can see that indeed it says that the test failed because snapshot does not match reference. But what's interesting is that we have some attachments. So we have actually 3 images. The first one is the reference image. So it's the image that was part of our test case. Okay, the second one is the failure screenshot. So it is what the view looked like. And we can see indeed that there is a difference because there is an image missing. But the most useful of the 3 is the third one, which is called difference. And what this view does is that it's going to be basically a diff between the 2 images. And so it shows us what was present in the first view and not in the second view. And as we can see, we see that it is indeed this view, so this image with the star half filled that has disappeared. And so using the difference image, well, we are able to very easily pinpoint the source of the regression. And that's all for this video. So that's all I wanted to show you for this introduction to snapshot-based testing. I hope that, like me, you find this way of testing your code, of writing UI tests pretty interesting. So if you want to learn more about this technique, well, I can only encourage you to take a look at the library. So I've put the link of the GitHub in the description. You will find a lot of useful explanation. If you want to learn more about how this library was made, so the guys at Point3, they've made a few videos about it, and you can also find the link on the GitHub of the library. So I can only encourage you all to go check it out, to try it in your project. I'm sure that you will find that it is indeed a way to write powerful UI tests at a very cheap cost. Thank you for watching this video and see you next time.